got Romney on the ride tonight.
What's up?
How's it going?
Same old, bro. Same shit. Different toilet.
Yeah, I hope it's a nice porcelain one.
Nah, man, it's a really shitty one.
One of those auto flush
okay,
and thank you after.
Yeah.
Nah, I hear you, man. I hear you, but
Oh, I'm supposed to watch my language. My bad. It's for the YouTubers.
Nah, no, I put a disclosure at the beginning, so feel free to cuss all you want.
I don't know what cussing is.
Yeah, mom might be watching.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really cuss. My mom watches this.
That's cool.
But every once in a while, I might let it a little bit slip. What about you? Where you from?
Me, I am Cambodian and Hispanic. So it's a little bit of a mix-up. My mom came here as an immigrant back in like 85-ish. She was running from the Khmer Rouge, so she's a political refugee, like straight up genocidal refugee, like, you know, trying to basically what Hitler was doing to the Jews, Pol Pot was doing to the Cambodians. They were like, you know, basically saying that nobody could be smart. They burned all the books and shit like that. They killed all the monks. They killed like anybody who would try to oppose, you know, or even say something against that man. So it's a really dark time in Southeast Asian history. But yeah, that's where my mom's from. She's one of the strongest people I know.
A lot of people don't know that about that too. You know, and if your mom, I applaud her because you know she gotta be strong to survive something like that. I mean,
she went all the way. She like basically trekked all the way from where she was in Cambodia to Thailand, all the way to a refugee camp, all the way there. So that shit ain't easy, bro. Going over a whole different country, like not even knowing they didn't have cars back then, or anything. I mean, they probably did, but.
No, but for
rough.
For real, you know, I've heard it, and I've learned that through one of my videos with the baller. His father was a Cuban refugee and the stuff that they went through too. I actually used to live in Lowell, Massachusetts.
Oh, word! I'm from Lynn, bro.
Okay, the city of sin.
With the 978. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, for real. And so then you know, Lowell.
Yeah, it's full of Cambodians.
Is to what Cambodians what Miami is to the Cubans. You know, they're everywhere out there because they're refugees. And,
I mean, they stay in their community because you know they're good people, genuinely and honestly. Just like I'm pretty sure Cubans are. You know, they don't really try to cause any trouble. They just, you know, they're survivors and they work hard. So
no. I'll tell you though. There was an Asian gang out there called TRG.
The Rascals. Everybody.
Yeah, the Rascals gang.
Rascals came out from Long Beach, I believe.
Yeah, those guys are no joke though. Yeah. I straight up seen before I even moved to Lowell, like I went to my boy, he was a rap artist and he was performing at this club. Yeah. And I remember after the club, this fight broke out, and it was literally like Puerto Ricans versus the Cambodians, and it was like Latin King versus the TRGs. And this one guy, I never saw something like this before. It was like out of a movie. It was a big rumble. A lot of people were in this brawl, and then all of a sudden it started clearing up when this guy picked up a no parking sign.
Oh yeah.
And he started swinging that no parking sign, and he was dropping people left and right, like it was like a soccer game. You know, people just drop. It was just serious though. Like this was real life happening. I couldn't believe it, and it got even crazy because this guy was knocked out from the sign, and his girlfriend was holding him in her arms, like she's on her knees on the ground holding him, and all of a sudden the dude got in his SUV and threw it in reverse to peel out and get away from everything, and he ended up running over that couple.
Oh man. Did they survive? Are they okay?
I don't know about that couple, but I had inside I had some inside information that the person had caused all that. He didn't survive.
Hold on. So the person who was driving the car didn't survive.
The person who did caused all that,
who was hitting people in the head with the stop sign and got in his car and fucking started running people over, he didn't survive.
Latin King caught up to him. I want to say the next day, if not 2 days. 2 days
that's
later.
How it happens, man.
This is crazy, man. But you know, it's like
that's why we're in Florida though, to get away from all the craziness, right?
Right. For real. Hey, you know, Lynn.
I see my shit too, bro. I see my fair share of shit, man. I have people die on me, man. It sucks, man. It really does suck. But you know, you live and you learn. You go through these lessons for a reason. I feel. You know what I mean? God put you through this test. I feel like every day is a struggle for a reason.
No, for real. Like I feel like I'm wiser because of it.
Yeah,
you know, I feel
absolutely.
like,
you know, because not a lot of people like go through it, and people don't know how the world is like that. You know what I mean? They don't know shit can get crazy at like the blink of an eye. You know what I mean? Just because people look at them wrong, or you know, they say the wrong thing, you know, pop off. You know, and people can die, people get hurt. You know,
that's bad. You know, and to clarify, because right now, you know, with the current administration talking about immigrants letting these people in, and then I tell a story about how it's violent. Now, one thing a lot of people don't realize is gangs originated here in America.
Oh, of course. You know what I mean? Because this is a nation based on capitalism. This is the nation where you can get fat, but you just got to be money hungry. That's it. You got to throw everything else aside and just focus on the dough, and that's how you get rich.
For real, what's the gang out there and that's big with the Mexicans, and you know, and they talk about all these Mexicans come over here and cause problems. So guess what? The Mexicans didn't have gangs until they came to America.
The Vatos Locos, Lighten Kings, MS-13s.
MS-13 is the one I was trying to think of.
Salvadorian though. MS-13 is mostly from Salvador.
Is it really? Okay. Yeah. That's no. I was educated on this because it was one of my best friends. He's Mexican and he's from Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
And sure enough, and same thing. You know, TRG. There was no Cambodian gang. You know what I mean? Until they came to America.
Absolutely.
And they
just banded together. They fucking. It all happens when basically a bunch of people who are hungry get together and they realize, you know, fuck this shit. We're not gonna live the, you know, basic way where you've been paid maybe like $8-10 an hour. It's not just gonna fly. You know what I mean? And that's kind of that's what's fucked up about America, is because they don't pay the hard workers what they should be paid.
Right.
I feel like.
Right.
I feel like in this world, it's not about what you know or how hard you work. It's about who you know, and you know what I mean, how quickly you can use that to your advantage.
For real, definitely some wise words, and
that's just me.
No, but that's real. That's 100, and that's you know, being able to share your knowledge with everybody and appreciate it because of the experience.
I've been all around too. I've been to LA. I've seen all those gangs and shit. I was born in Denver, then moved all around the country. I was in Texas, California, and then we moved all the way to Massachusetts, came down to Florida. I lived.
So you got to experience a lot of it. Yeah. And that's key thing, man. I tell people, get out, experience the world, get to know people, get to know different cultures.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you get educated.
The world is too big for you just to stay in one place. You know what I mean? You got to get out there, meet different people.
Sure, you can pick up a book and read about it, but experience it and live in it.
Experience is the best teacher, by far. You know what I mean?
One thing about the gangs is that I was just thinking, I was watching Grease the other day with my daughter, and you know, it's a huge movie, one of the most popular movies of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Americana right there.
So when she was like, "Oh, I want to watch it," I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah, let's go watch it." And I watched it. I'm like, "Wow, this is not appropriate for a little girl to be watching." It's first off, it's the gangs.
Yeah.
You know.
Second of all, it's like halfway sexual. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of sexual and stuff that's in there, but you know, a lot of that stuff goes over her head. But then I was thinking, I'm like, you know, we like look up to people who want to be gangs and the whole. And
what America wants to project.
And then the Sandra D comes in, this clean cut girl, and they're all making fun of her. And then by the end of the movie, and you think that Danny John Travolta's gonna turn good for her, but at the end of the movie, she turns into a bad girl. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm like, wait a minute, is that what we want? You know, is that what we want to tell our kids? You know what I mean? Is to be straight and narrow is lame, and the only way you're gonna
be cool, smoking cigarettes, and you know, doing the bad girl thing.
Yeah, so I
mean, that's kind of the road that America's gone down anyway. You know what I mean? Because I think America's view on, you know, being a good person is very boring. You know what I mean? Like, you can be good, but you know, life is short. You know, you're gonna spend your whole life, you know, like sticking to the rules and stuff like that. You obviously gotta break them. The rules are meant to be breaking, but you know, in certain extents. You know what I mean? Yeah. Murder, rape, shit like that is obviously not okay.
Yeah, like now I like to play devil's advocate and say, you know, it was a different time, different era. You know what I mean? Back then, a lot of the movies.
And a lot of people thought marijuana was the worst thing you could ever do in life. You know what I mean? But, you know, look at it now. So, look at it now.
But you think but it's just, it kind of amazes me, you know, back then, you know, because also what was big, West Side Story was a big movie back then, and there were two gangs and stuff like that. It's like, and think about it, you know, America's always kind of been about gangs? Kind of, they originated gangs, and they kind of
New York.
They've been playing, yeah, gangs of New York. They kind of glorify gangs a little bit. You know what I mean? So I guess
I think America's message is there's strength in numbers. Right. That's why they got such a big army, such a big navy. You know, all that, because you know they just like to swing their dick around. But you know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, we live in a world now is full of fucking crazy people. You know, you don't know who you can trust nowadays. So maybe this is good to have like people you can fall back on.
Right.
And shit like that.
Well, you think about it, those gangs back then had those little pocket knives and switch out.
Yeah,
nowadays they got AK-47s and grenades and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, I don't agree with the bullets. There's so many more ways that you can solve a problem other than blood. You know?
I would love to go back to the days where gangs should just have dance-offs. Right?
Breaking and stuff got served.
And like you guys like Grease, they breaking the dance. West Side Story breaking the dance. With I'm bad. Michael Jackson.
That was a knife fight. That could have gotten real serious, man.
But yeah, for real, man.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, but you know, and it is what it is. I guess the moral of the story is, you know, like we can let's not start saying that these people from outside different countries are coming here and creating gangs and causing crimes.
I think at that time when gangs were really relevant, people didn't really have an outside support group. It wasn't really a melting pot like it is today, where people could trust people of different races and shit. You know what I mean?
That's another thing too. Because you know, a lot of the gangs were race-based.
has evolved like that, but you know, at the same time, they got a long way to go with these school shootings and shit like that. Security issues with fucking terrorism and shit, but you know, I think it's a step in the right direction. I just think the world's gotten a lot crazier since then. But yeah, that's my 2 cents.
My thing is what I say to people all the time when they're like, "Oh, things are getting crazy, things are worse." It's just we know about it a bit more now, you know, because we got social media and all over the place, you know, all these crimes against the community, you know, police harassing people and brutality. Man, if I had a camera back when I was a kid, man, I would have like the whole force, the whole
documentary.
The whole police department would have been shut down, like with the stuff that I have lived through.
Believe me, I went through it too, like being pulled over, have shit implanted in your car and shit too, you know.
Like I remember when like everybody's like, oh, all these gay people coming out everywhere. It's like, no, this is now we have social media and these people aren't scared to be, hide who they are. So.
Love is love, you know. It doesn't matter what you love or who you love, but you know, you can love a tree. I mean, there's some tree lovers out there. There's some tree lovers out there, but
hey, I loves the plants.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool, man. But anyways, we're about to be at destination here, so it's time to wrap it up. But hey, definitely appreciate y'all, man.
Massachusetts love, guys. Have a good night.
Sure. That's a lot,
Take
man.
it easy.
I actually got expelled from high school. I was carrying a firearm. Like, it was kind of like a gang raper. And she said that Kiki killed herself. And I was just like thinking like I should like be with her. Like, to all the kids out there, that's no way to go.